Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I am playing the Tier 10 Pan-Asian Destroyer Yueyang. This is a mixed tier match with 10, 9, and 8 represented. There are CVs in the game. They are Tier 8, thank goodness. I will be squaring off against Enterprise. There is a little bit of radar. We've got a Cleveland and a Chapayev. And Eddie may have radar, but probably has smoke. DD threats, well, Gearing, Shima, Harugumo, and Paolo Emilio. Not too worried about Paolo Emilio. Shima, of course, the threat there is just they can flood a zone with torpedoes, making it very tough to dodge them. Gearing, to a lesser extent, the same thing, but also really good guns that reload fairly quickly. If you get caught at close range, you can be in trouble. But Yueyang is kind of a Gearing variant with deep water torpedoes. I don't think the guns reload as quickly on Yueyang, but they're comparable. Yueyang is a little bit tougher to hit. It sits a little bit lower in the water than the Gearing. Not quite as tall a target. Harugumo, of course, huge gun threat, as well as a very hard-hitting suite of torpedoes. So all in all, I would say matchmaking is not incredibly difficult, but challenging. And the fact that this is epicenter means that there's a certain amount of responsibility for getting in these cap circles, especially when playing a destroyer. Now, you hope as a destroyer player that you're not going to be the only ones that are heading in there. And very often, I'm sure you've seen this happen, very often the destroyers head into the center of an epicenter game area to contest the caps, and all the capital ships sit outside the cap. And yeah, they're looking for angles, and sometimes it can work out great, but sometimes they're not able to land any killing shots or even any significant damage shots, and the destroyers end up getting picked off in the epicenter area. So I was very happy to see that over there where Gearing and Daring are on the minimap, you've got a Cleveland and a Tago and an Iowa right behind them. You can see the Enterprise. He's looking for me, or he's looking for a destroyer. Rather than go outside, I went inside. Now, outside might present more of a torpedo opportunity, but especially early in the game, I'm not all that worried about landing the big shots as much as I am contesting these caps and harassing enemy DDs. Now, my torpedoes cannot hit enemy DDs, so that's a definite weakness of this line of ships, but it's made up for by the fact that these torpedoes hit really, really hard and are very difficult to see. So by the time a ship sees them, it's generally too late. So my goal when playing anything in the Pan-Asian line, generally speaking, especially at higher tiers, is survive to the mid-game and late game where your torpedoes can really make a difference. Now you can see that I'm looking for gaps, hoping maybe I spot something out there, way out there somewhere, that maybe somebody's crossing, but the torpedo range on this is only 13.5 kilometers, which is decent, and I'm certainly not complaining, but it's not like the Gearing where you've got over 16 kilometers of range. There's the Harugumo. Our Gearing is in the center cap with him, and the RCV is paying the Harugumo a little bit of a visit. Looks like he just missed that drop entirely, our Parseval. No damage to the Harugumo. And I'm going to put some torpedoes out there in the center in that gap. Probably not going to hit anything, but you just never know. They're not doing me any good right now, so I'm going to put them out there. Spotting torpedoes for anybody that might have been back in that way. Looks just Montana. Hopefully Montana can angle up now, having seen the torpedoes before they were right in his face. Now, I thought about moving into the center cap here. Why didn't I? Well, because I'm the only thing on my team that's in this second cap. And as soon as I leave this, well, then the enemy team can start taking it, which is what happened when the Gearing left the center. Now, recognizing that the Gearing has left the center, I'm debating about whether I should go in there. And then I see, well, Gearing looks like he's heading back into the center. Do I need to do that? Yeah. I'm going to. So he looks like he's going to be weaving back and forth. And I don't want them to get this center cap area. Chapayev turned in, but he's definitely got us both in range where he could radar us now. And there's the enemy Gearing. And the enemy Harugumo. So I'm going to open up. And I open up with AP because Yueyang can take some big damage from AP. And I've smoked up, and I'm just waiting on the radar. I expect the Chapayev's going to radar here anytime. And I expect Yueyang's torpedoes, so you can see I'm already angling up against that. And I do manage to finish him off. Now it's the same thing with the Rugamo. The AP can do damage, but he's gone dark now. Our Parsival, I was hoping would keep him lit. There are the Yueyang torpedoes. So I'll just outrun those. There, I can see both sets were fired. Try and get an AP shot off on Rugamo here. Wish I had all the guns to bring to bear. No. And you can see the typical US DD lofty arcs. Make it pretty tough to land anything. Our Yueyang's headed back into the center. Kudos to him. That kind of mini-map awareness and, you know, kind of overall game awareness, well, that really helps win games. You know, big picture, good guys, well, we haven't lost a ship yet. We've got a really banged up North Carolina, really banged up Bismarck, but everybody's still afloat. Meanwhile, the bad guys have lost the Chapayev, Yueyang, and Paulo Emilio. Now, I didn't see it happen, but my guess is Paulo Emilio was probably trying to make a suicide run and got caught and blapped. It looks like over there on the mini-map, just south of where Montana and North Carolina are at, that's exactly what he did. Now I know the Harugumo's over here, and I'm looking again, and I see our Cleveland, and we have a battleship and a Cleveland, an Iowa and a Cleveland, both in this second ring. So it's okay, I can leave this ring, and the bad guys won't be picking up this cap. So I'm going to go into the center here. Yueyang's moving forward, and I'm hoping that Yueyang and I are on the same wavelength of, let's see if we can catch this Harugumo, and between the two of us finish him off.
Engine boost deactivated.
Yueyang continues to push, so I'm going to continue to push. You see Cleveland requested aid there, and I pointed out that, you know, you got an Iowa and a Kitakaze there right there with you, plus the whole rest of the team not too far behind you. And there's Harugumo. And he's sitting in smoke, and he's being radared by Cleveland, I think is what was happening there when I could see him. And it looks to me like he's going to make a run for it. But whether he makes a run for it or not, he's going to be visible, and there he is. And I don't even get a chance to think about switching from HE to AP before he just gets blapped. Yueyang gets a detonation. So the Harugumo's down. So the bad guys are down 4 ships. We're only down 1. We've lost our daring. But he did manage to take out an enemy ship before he went down. Our Balti's in big trouble. He's facing off with a Bismarck, and he's going to run broadside to the Bismarck here in a second. And you can see he's got his nose pointed to him. I think he's trying to get a ram. But, yeah. Even if he was angled, and it looks like he was trying. This Bismarck's just a little too much for a Balti, for that kind of knife fight. I can see the enemy planes coming up this way. I'm hoping that the fact that Yueyang is there is going to keep the enemy aircraft in that area. Double check to make sure my own anti-aircraft is turned off. Bismarck knows that there's a destroyer or something out here, and I think he's probably pinging, and that's why the airplanes are still coming this way. But, no. Enterprise was just looking for room to turn around and go back and drop the Yueyang again. So I lucked out there. Had the aircraft come this way just a little bit more, they would have detected me, and Bismarck would have been able to evade. And really, it doesn't take much. Just change your course and speed. Do that at irregular intervals, and it makes it really, really hard for anybody to land torpedoes unless they're right next to you. And Bismarck, well, Bismarck has hydro, and it's pretty decent hydro. It has good range, so you can see I'm keeping my distance. And I'm just going to hope that he continues in more or less a straight line. If he stays in anything even resembling a straight line, he's probably going to eat 1 or more torpedoes there. Cleveland's pushing this way, and we have a whole bunch of ships in a big, like, bunch back there. We've got a Bismarck and a Tago, North Carolina and Montana all kind of in one square. And that's usually a recipe for disaster, unless they're focusing their fire. If they're focusing their fire, that can be devastatingly effective. Now I'm going to land a couple here on the Bismarck. But that's it. Now he does flood, so yeah, a little internal debate about should I try and get fire started? Should I get the guns working? Yeah, I think I do. And the reason I say that is I've got enemy aircraft over the top, and I've got my own aircraft here who can spot for me. So if I start taking fire, which I am, you can see the secondaries coming, I can just smoke up. I can use the island to cover myself a little bit. There's one fire. And the aircraft dropped me a little bit there, and that hurt, but it was just chip damage.
Our team has taken the lead.
And Parseval smacks the Bismarck and finishes him off. And this game is, at this point, well, it's probably all over but the shouting. We've lost 3 ships. The bad guys have lost 6. We've got the outer ring of the cap circles. And the Georgia's about to get sunk. I don't see any way that he survives this. He's taking fire not just from me, but from halfway across the map. And there's a fire on Georgia. He's got his repair working, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with what's going on there. And he goes down.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
So we have a commanding lead. We've got the outer cap circle, and they don't have anybody in that cap circle, so we're still accumulating some points there. They're trying like crazy to hang on to the center, but it's just the Cleveland in there right now, and he's alone over here. On the other side, they've got a couple of other ships. They got a Shima out there trying like mad to sink one of our battleships. Our Kitakaze catches the Yeti with a torpedo, takes him out of the game. Now they're down to 4 ships. We've still got 7 ships. Now Cleveland's doing everything he can. He played a heck of a game. I don't know whether he's playing. Yeah, it looks like he's going to make use of the islands there. CB's going to head over that way. And I have to wonder, does he still have any radar? Has he used it all? You know, we're 12.5 minutes into the game. It's possible he doesn't have anything, but it's dangerous to push out and find out you're wrong. But I'm going to do that anyway because we've got we've got a pretty commanding lead at this point. And I can use this island for cover unless he radars. And if he does radar, I can run close to that island, or I can just run directly ahead of where I'm aimed right now, and right there, and get under cover there. Put out some torps preemptively. He's probably going to change course and speed, and he might even head back this way.
Engine boost deactivated.
See, he's turning in to avoid the torpedoes from the aircraft, and that saves him. That's so frustrating as a DD player. You make a decent torpedo strike, and the aircraft carrier goes after your target, and the target turns and changes direction as a result of the aircraft attack. Not the end of the world. It's just it's hard enough to land torpedoes in this game. What's the average? About 8% hits with torpedoes, somewhere around that ballpark. So to be looking at it and saying, oh, I'm going to land 1 or 2 here, and then you see the aircraft coming in, and you know the enemy ship is going to move, change direction. Having said that, I've got no complaints, especially in this game. RCV did a great job. You can see he's already sunk 2 ships. And at this point, we've got a 610-point lead, 2 cap circles. I'm detected there by Yamato, I think. Or was. But I think he's a little busy with the daring that's right in front of him. Parsifal's going to get broadside shots on this Cleveland. And that German CV, those German CV rockets are, they are no joke. Well, we've got our North Carolina pushing in here on the Cleveland, so I think I'm going to go with them. I may take a good volley or two here from the Cleveland, but I'm pretty sure I can survive it. And
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
if nothing else, maybe I can just help the North Carolina finish him off. Our Gearing's a little worried that we're going to lose. Some of the guys on his side, you see, I'm going to switch to AP here, get broadside shots on the Cleveland. I'm not going to pass that up. Yes, he's radared me, but there are enemy aircraft to consider, so I'm smoking because I know the Cleveland's about to sink. And I'm now invisible to the aircraft.
Problem solved, sir. Engine boost activated. Smoke screen set.
So while I've been talking, you know, the bad guys managed to secure the outer rings. That's the throw that our Gearing was talking about. I think this game is still probably in the bag. That Yamato doesn't have the HP to be able to survive a direct encounter with pretty much anything. Our North Carolina still has a decent amount of HP. It's not a lot, but it's probably enough. I should probably switch to HE here. And I can see there's somebody behind me. You can even see some smoke there. That tells me that I've got a DD behind me, so I'm just going to move. No chance his torpedoes can hit me here. And our North Carolina finishes off the Yamato. And that puts us one step closer toward finishing this game with a win. I'll offer my AA, such as it is. It's not going to do much, but every little bit helps. North Carolina's probably in trouble here. CV torpedoes are dropping. I debated about stopping. I know there are aircraft over me, but I'm trying to bait out the CV, or not the CV, the DD. I know the Shima's back there. I want him to leave the smoke. He's got aircraft right over the top of him. As soon as he comes out, everybody's going to know where he's at. I know the CV's going to be back. The CV's going to be trying to drop me. That's okay. I can see the Shima doesn't have much in the way of HP, and I can see that he's moved in that direction, so I'm not terribly concerned. I think he's probably behind the island there. I've got smoke. I'll take this one blast and smoke up if I need to. Stay angled against the torpedoes that I imagine are probably going to be coming. And maybe I can get in some blind fires here. We'll see. Part of me would like to show a little more side and get all my guns into the blind fire on that smoke, but no, I'm going to be patient. Try not to get sunk here. Minute and 43 seconds remaining. If I just stay alive, that's really all that we need.
Smoke screen set.
CV's still dropping the smoke where he thinks I probably am. Just have to avoid the torpedoes. I can do that. And that's all of his torpedoes. That's all 3 racks. And Kid is telling me run right out there. No, not ready to do that just yet. I'm going to wait for some more aircraft to be back. His torpedoes can't arm that quickly. But he's moved. I can see the enemy planes are coming in, but they're bombers this time. I think I can probably handle those, so I do go ahead and run on out here. I'm going to finish this Shima. There's no way he wins this gunfight. And that pretty much seals the deal. Now it's just a question of whether I can stay alive for the next 40 seconds or whether he's going to kill me and then we're going to win anyway. And I think that answers that question. Even if he sinks me, we still win. 26 seconds remain. I'm pretty happy with this game. I think it proves that Yueyang, despite a lot of people who are detractors and not crazy about this ship or this line, I think it's very fun to play. I think this whole line is fun to play. I love the deep water torpedoes. It's definitely viable. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.